Alright, so we're back with various bug fixes. I'm going to address the camera or the player respawn, the camera being a little behind, and the multiple dashes in air. The first thing I'm going to address is a camera lagging a little bit behind. The first thing I want to do is actually change this from a 4 times time.delta time. I'm going to change that to a 5. So it'll alert to the player vec just a little bit quicker. For the player herself, the thing that I want to do. Whoa, that was random. Just zoom in. There we go. So for the player herself, is what I actually want to do is create an empty, and this is going to be called camera follow. So I'm actually going to use this in place of the cameras. So cameras are right here, and right now we're using a player transform. I actually want to use a camera follow transform. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set this up within the player script. So whenever the player moves, it'll actually move forward and then lock back to the player, move back, lock back to the player. So that's the idea. The way we're going to do this is if we come into the player movement, which is right here, we'll go up, and I need to look for, so this is the horizontal movement. I actually need to look for, here we go. So if we're going forward, it's going to have the right that's on, and if we're going the other direction, then it'll be the other. Very simple, actually. So I'm going to throw that in here real quick. And I'm going to keep those there. This dog is really annoying. I'm actually debating if I just want to create a new script. I'll probably go ahead and do that instead of messing with the player movement script. I will go ahead and take these, and I'll hit Control C, and let me go ahead and create C# script. This will be called camera lock position, or actually let's go ahead and call it camera player. So this simple script, all it's going to do is, like I said, it's just going to move that little camera follow game object either forward or backwards. So when you start moving, get rid of this crap in here. So when you start moving, I want the game object to move forward in front of the player or the other direction. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say transform dot translate, and we're going to translate it, say 3 units. I actually need one more. There we go. And this one will be -3. We could actually come in here and actually create a public float movement. And so what we'll do is we'll type in movement, and we'll type it in right here. So I'll save that, wait for this to compile, come in here. Oh, I actually need to create one more else if. So if it equals 0, it should go back to 0. There we go. And now that I've done that, I should be able to slap the camera player script on here. So I'll do that. I'm going to enter 3. I'll hit play. Let's make sure this is working. Well, my guess kind of working. So what's going on is it's actually, trying to think how to explain this. This is just constantly moving it 3-axis every single frame. And so what we need to do is we actually need to set in no, not audio reverb. Move my fingers over. Movement equals mathf dot clamp, and we will say movement. Then we will say, I'm actually going to create a new float, and this will be called movement clamp. And so in here, this is where we specify our value. So we'll say click out of this real quick. So we need a float value, and we need the min and the max. So this is where we say movement. And I'm going to assign -3 for the min and 3 for the max. And I could actually come up here and say, I'm trying to think how to explain this. So this one could actually be movement neg, movement pause, and then I can actually specify the movement clamp in here, the negative in here, and then the pause in here. Oops, can't do it that way because we're specifying the float right here, but this is looking for an actual float name. So if we were to come in here and say, if I can move my fingers and get them in the right spot, let me move my keyboard over real quick. There we go. So if we say movement right here, then we can slap it right here. And so now it's going to look at movement clamp, and we can actually slap that right here. And this will be negative movement clamp. So what should happen is it should look at the movement, which is up here. This is what we specify as being whatever. And then it'll take movement negative. Or actually, this just needs to be movement. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. I'm not. There we go. So now this should work. I think. So movement negative will be -3 and 3. Let's hit play. If this doesn't work, then it's off to plan B. Okay. So let me see what's going on. So this is still going to 15, 24. It's still incrementing. It's not actually locking in place, which is not a big deal. Let's go and throw a movement clamp in here and make sure it's actually locking on the player X position. Come on, Unity. Nope. Still going way outside of its range. So now we come up with plan B. What is that, you ask? I have no idea just yet. But I will say this much. I do have these backwards. I need to make sure I keep this as a negative and this as a positive, because I'm noticing that the camera's going in different directions. I really hate scripting when I'm tired because I can't think. So that's awesome. Let me make sure that this is set. I'm actually going to set movement to 0. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, let me set it to 1. Okay, so that is doing kind of what I want it to do. Well, at least as far as, like, you know, it moving in front of the player. Obviously, it's not quite where it needs to be, but what we can do is, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So we have these. Next thing I want to do is we will do a, let's go ahead and do a lerp. So we'll see how jittery this is, and we'll see if it's working properly or not. But as what we want to do, let's go ahead and type in, or actually I'm going to create a serialized field for these. Serialized field, and this will be called vector2, and it will be player. And we don't actually need one for game object. And let's go ahead and do a vector2 dot lerp, and then we're going to say, oh wait, I need to say transform dot position. So let's say transform dot position equals vector2 lerp, and this will be want to start with the game object, and we'll go to the player, and we'll have a lerp of 1. No, not transform. I want dot transform dot position. There we go. This will be player dot. Wait, I don't even need to do this because the player is already a vector 2, so that should be fine. I'm actually going to say times time dot delta time. And I'm going to go ahead and create another public float called time to lerp. Control C. Control S. So if this is 0, it'll always be at the player. Kind of important to remember. So we can go and take the player and that is completely my bad, you guys. I actually forgot about that. So this one can just kind of like go away. And this will be a transform. This will be called player trans. Then we'll say player equals player trans dot position. Okay, so now that should follow that, and then all we have to do is, well, that's already specified down there, so we're good. And so then it'll take the player. The player should disappear. We should have the player trans. I can drop the player into that field right here. Time to lerp. I'm going to set that to 1. Hit play. I need to make sure movement is set to 1. And then we'll see how much it jitters. That's actually going to be a kind of important thing. Okay, so time to lerp. Let's go and set that to 4. I'm going to set that to 5. Okay, so we're definitely getting some jitteriness from it. Let's see what it looks like inside the scene view. So I think the movement should actually be 0.5 and the lerp should be 3. It's getting closer. Let's go and set to 0.3. See how it looks. Okay, so that's definitely looking better. At least now, we're getting full. Okay, so all 3s. Got it. 0.3 and 3. So that's done. Player respawn. Okay, so inside the canvas menu, we're actually going to create a new little thing. So what we want to do is, let me go ahead, I'm just going to duplicate the pause menu because I'm lazy. This will be called respawn menu. Man, it'd be nice if I could type today. So we're still going to have main menu, and we're going to change resume to respawn. Debug menu can just go away. So for respawn, let's go ahead and type that in. Respawn. And is what we want to do is we actually need to create a script for this guy. So right now we just have respawn menu, which that is fine. So nothing should actually be calling the respawn menu. Okay, so one of these does have a... Okay, it's just the... Well, where's this? Pause menu control. Pause menu deactivate. Ah! There you be, young Padawan. So I'm going to open up the pause menu. Or actually, is what I can do is player movement. I'm just going to call it from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. We should have a bunch of serialized fields. Here we go. And we have pause menu right there, but now we want to do respawn menu. And in here, sorry about that, you guys. Actually, we probably don't want to do it in here. We actually probably want to do it in the player health, wherever that's at. Let's see. Player health. So in here, this is where we're looking to see how much health we have. And this is where the player died. Wait, is the player not dying anymore? That's kind of what it looks like. Let me test this out real quick, make sure the player is dying. Okay, the player is definitely dying. Good. So, I need to figure out how the player is dying. Let me just do a Control F. Give transformation, use stamina, use energy, take damage. So the player's not dying in there. Okay, so there's take damage. So it's calling the player health. So we come in here and take a look at this. Okay, how is a player dying? That is what I'm trying to figure out. So let me go look in the game manager. I don't think it's the game manager that's calling it, though. I don't think. So let me pause it. Let me look through the script real quick because I'm just a little confused on it. So let me clarify a few things. I'll be right back, you guys. Alright, so it was inside the update. I just had to find the... I started thinking like, okay, well, how's the animation called? So I looked up player death. From there, I saw that the method group is called dead player, which is what I created. And then I found it down here. So I feel like an idiot now. Tired, yay. Actually, I forgot what I was even doing. What was I doing? Oh, respawn menu. That's right. Okay. Didn't even spend that long on it, I don't think. So, right here, if the player's dead, we'll say respawn menu dot set active true. And the next thing we want to do is we actually want to do a check to see if this respawn menu is set active. Because if it is, we don't want the player to be able to hit the pause menu. That would be bad. And wouldn't make much sense. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that script. I'm going to check out, what is the name of that script? Pause menu. Okay. So let me go ahead and come back in here. I'm going to look for the pause menu, which is right here. I'm going to check those out. Hit OK. Come in here. And what we want to do is we actually want to say, we already have a game object, which is pause menu UI, and we also have a respawn menu. And inside of update, so right here we actually don't even need to do it that way. Well, I'm going to leave it there just in case. So is what I want to do is I'm going to have is pause. I can just add can input. So I'm going to do a check right here, and if we can input, if can input, then we will do this stuff in here. And we actually need to set this to true. And actually that needs to be a public. So let me copy this real quick. I'm going to create a public bool. Slap that in there. Slap that on there. And then the next thing we need to do is Oh, what is it? So we're already calling pH, which is good. We want to do a something. Well, I know the first thing we want to do is say else respawn menu dot set active true. That goes on the outside. So if the player's dead, the respawn menu should pop up. And then if that does pop up, is what we want to do is yeah, okay, something player movement. I think I'm just going to call the pause menu from here. So is what we're going to do instead of doing this is we're going to say pause menu. Give me a second because I need that there so I know where it's at. Serialized field, pause menu, PM. I think I already have a PM. No, I don't. Excellent. And let's go and say PM equals PM dot get component. This will be pause menu. Add the parentheses and the quotation, and I'm going to say PM dot something. What did I call that? Can input. Can input equals false. So now if we come in here, we're going to click on the player. We're going to drag that bad boy in there. Let's see, where does it go? It goes somewhere in here. There it is. Alright, let me die real quick. And let me stop playing. I'm going to turn off the respawn menu. Make sure this pops up. I don't care if the time is set active, because once I... Okay, so that must be... Alright. I could have sworn I dragged that in there. Why is that false? I did drag that in there, didn't I? Okay, so let me hit play. See what happens. Pause menu controller is there. Okay, I'm going to do a quick debug, because apparently the debug, we need something to be able to kill the player anyways. So I'm going to throw this in here. Image. I'm going to say Control D. Where's my... Oh, there it is. I need to grab this. I need to scale this down right about there. Move that over here. Fine, screw it. I'll just grab these. I don't care. There we go. Okay. So that can come up here. I'm going to click on Remove Power-Ups. This is going to come over here. This will be called... where's my text? Kill player. Okay, and kill player will need... Does player need something? Public void kill player. It'd be so nice if I could type. It wasn't ph. I think it's pm dot dead player. And then we also need to say ph dot current health equals 0. How does kill player? You'd think I'd remember this stuff, but I don't. Okay, so this calls PPS, which is player portrait script. I'm not calling that right now. And so is what I'm going to do is whenever I call dead player, I'm actually going to come up here. I'm going to say if PPS is greater than or equal to 1. Actually, I'm going to say 0.1f. Then we will say PPS dot health equals 0. Is that an int? I must be calling. No, I'm calling. I need to look at the player portrait script. Health isn't it? Okay. That's the wrong thing. Come back in here. Oh, dot health. It's greater than or equal to 1. That means that the health will equal 0. And we're going to PPS dot set portrait. So I'm actually going to call this first, and then I'll say dead player. There's a reason for it. I just can't think of what it is. I am literally that. Oh, the reason why I want to do that, because I want to set the health to 0 before I call that thing. You know what thing I'm talking about. So now I'm going to come in here, debug, kill player, back, resume. We get null reference. So let me click on player. What is the null reference we are getting? Because I see it right here. Jim, you dumbass. So if I hit play, go to debug, kill player, back, resume. I'm still getting a null reference, which is still at player. Because I did the I did the pause menu controller. Holy crap, that is not like me. Oh wow. Jimmy need to get his crap together. Okay. Debug, kill player, back, resume. Now what is your problem? Still with the player. This is something with start, so let's take a look. I'm going to say MEU. Or actually, I'm going to right click on this. Do I have any others in here? No, I do not. So I typed in the script correctly, but it's not getting the script. But I know it's got to be getting it somehow because it's still in here. So the respawn menu is there. The pause menu. I know what it is. I'm so tired I'm not even putting 2 and 2 together. Crap. Guys, you get to see me full of errors today. Really? Maybe? No? Okay. Hit clear. Yeah, so it's definitely saying nope. I don't think so. Not today, Scooter. So we got that. I'm gonna come in here, pause menu controller. That definitely needs to go there. Now wait, pause menu goes here. This does need the pause menu controller. I think because the respawn. So we have respawn menu. This is going to throw an error. If I can find my thing. No, I'm not calling it here. I'm simply saying pause menu can input. I know what it is. So we have the pause menu and we have the respawn menu, but we're looking down here at PM, which is where the script is located. I bet y'all were just banging your heads on the desk right now wondering, Jimmy, what the hell are you doing? I don't know, you guys. I really don't know. Okay, so why didn't that kill the player? Alright, so respawn does work. It just pauses the game. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go use the bathroom. When I come back, we're going to fix that. Alright, and so I'm back. So the first thing I want to do is actually fix, well, that's already pause menu, but the respawn menu, I definitely want that here. I doubt that's the issue, but this is where we start really getting into it. So the kill player does not work. So what I need to do is I actually need to set something up where if we are killing the player, then we need to set, so this is a private bool, and we're going to say kill player. That's not going to work. I'm actually going to do, well, maybe it will, but I'm not going to take any chances. So we're going to say if kill player, then we're going to say player movement dot kill, no, dead player. And the reason why I'm going to call this every single frame is because of the fact that what's going on is we're telling it to kill the player, but because time is at 0, it's not actually doing anything. And when we I think is what's going on is when we hit play, it's not actually like calling that script anymore because it's only calling it that one time. So if we have dead player, is what we want to do is let's go ahead and with this game object right up here, we're going to actually do one more, and we're going to say no, we're not. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. We're already calling the player movement script. And so what I want to do is actually come up here to player movement, and I'm going to have another private bool, and this is going to be called player is dead. So inside the dead player, we're going to say player is dead. We're going to set that to true, and we'll say that will come into the pause menu. So we're going to say if player, or if kill player, and player actually needs to be, well, we need the exclamation mark. We're going to say PM dot player is, why can I not? Because it's a private, Jimmy, come on. So we have a public bool up here. Or actually, we have a public bool right here. This is where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to slap that right here. Save it. Say player is dead. So if we were doing kill player, which is true, and we're saying that is false, then we will go ahead and call it. We'll keep calling it until until the player dies. And then up here we have kill player, so let's make sure that that is set to true. No, it is not, so we need to say B, kill player equals true. So once we set this to true, it's going to set this, it'll keep calling it until the player actually dies. So let's hit play. And as soon as after I click on kill player, I'll hit back. Once I hit resume, we should get the respawn menu instantly. And we do not. Kill player, damn it. Okay, so that is really interesting. Let me... Oh, you know what? Because that is a public... Let me scroll down here. Player's dead right here. So I'm going to go to debug, kill player. I'm just going to click that once and hit resume. So it's not calling it in here. Let's see if it is calling it in here. So B, kill player, debug. So it is definitely not killing the... Why is it not... Oh, Jimmy, you dumbass. I know exactly why it's not killing the player. So this right here needs to be kill player. And then over here we need to give it the kill player ability. And just because I am curious, I'm actually going to comment these out. I bet you guys are just banging your heads at me right now like, come on, Jimmy, get your crap together. You're better than this. Yes, normally I am when I'm more awake, but after working all day and whatnot, yeah, probably ain't going to happen. Okay, so there's our respawn menu. Excellent. So that works. Since that works, is what we can do... I'm actually going to get rid of that. And we already have this down here. Let me think how I want to do this. I'm actually going to turn this into an else if. We already have the pause menu. No, we do not have pause menu. So we're going to say pause menu. Pause. Let's go ahead and say... Oh, we can't call it pause menu because that's the name of the class. Okay, so we're just going to say go pause menu. And what we want to do is say go pause menu dot active in hierarchy equals false. So as long as this is not active in hierarchy and both of these are the values that they need to, then it's going to call the dead player. And I actually want to take this, Control C. I'm going to put that here. And so right here we're actually going to do IE numerator. We're going to say something. Respawn menu wait. Control C. Yield return new wait 4 seconds. I'm going to say 1 because I think that's the player death time. Then it'll do the check, see if the pause menu is active. So the next thing we want to do is, because once a player dies, they cannot hit the escape key, if I'm thinking correctly. Dead player... Yeah, so we don't have the pause menu in here. But it is a public bool. Don't think I actually need to call that right now. The biggest thing I want to call is, wherever it went, is this. And so what I'm going to do is come up here, kill player. I'm going to say start coroutine, kill player, or respawn menu wait. Then inside player movement, we're already calling the. I thought we were calling the. Oh, okay, so as soon as we die, we automatically set that to false. Okay, good. Oh, come on. Let me collapse the debug menu, come in here. No, wait, I need the pause menu. So the next thing we need to do is we actually need to do a check. Because as soon as it calls a kill player, it's going to start that coroutine. Well, as long as the time scale is set to 0, that should be fine. So let's go ahead and... Now, there are two different types of yield return new wait for seconds. You have wait for seconds, which will actually count in-game seconds. And then you have wait for seconds real time, which will count seconds in real time. So even if the time scale was set to 0, it would still continue counting. Okay, that is working. So for the respawn, right now it's just set to resume. Don't really like that a whole lot. So what I want to do is create some kind of checkpoint. Right now we could just have it reload in the scene. That'd probably be the easiest, is to use the scene management, which we are already using, so that's actually really convenient. So we have deactivate. I guess I'm just going to do it right above the main menu. Public void respawn. Or actually, I'm going to call it player respawn. Player respawn. I'm just going to type in scene manager dot load scene. And metrics scene. Okay, so now it should load this scene. I just need to make sure I actually like call it from that. As long as I do, then it'll work. Let's see. Why is this in the pause? Oh. What was I looking for? Player respawn. Oh, I can bet you guys are banging your heads. I am so sorry, you guys. Tired Jimmy plus scripting equals bad juju. Debug, kill player, back, resume, player dies, respawn, boom, done. Alright, that is done. Camera being a little behind, and multiple dashes in error. So if we hit play, let's see how obnoxious this really is. Oh, wait. There we go. Well, but that's... Does he want me to slow him down, or what? I can slow him down. That's not a problem. Ah, he removed the tag. It's no longer tagged as wall. Wait, is it? Ah. Actually, it probably works on Neil's, just not mine. Part of the project settings. Okay, so multiple dashes in error. You know what? Screw it. We're going to make the player wait before they can dash multiple times. This is actually the way I wanted it to be played, where you could do multiple dashes in error. So the fact that he is saying that is kind of hurtful, because this is actually the way I want it to be. But you know what? I'm not the instructor. I'm just a student who likes pooping. Okay, is dashing. So this is what I'm looking for is dashing. So dash timer 0.25. I'm actually going to say 0.4. Much as I hate to do that, it's apparently what needs to be done. Where is dash timer at on this bad boy? Oh, it's a public. Sweet. Well, I say sweet, but you know what? It's not really that sweet. Okay, dash timer, which is going to be somewhere. That's player health, Jimmy. Get your crap together. Dash timer, 0.4. Play. So, I actually screwed up on that because the dash timer doesn't deal with... Dash timer stays like that while you're dashing. Is what I need to do is dashing when that is false. Let me think. There's actually something I'm looking for specifically. Because is dashing is what actually specifies that you're moving. But I need to look for can dash. And that's the one I'm like, wait a minute. So up here we need to say can dash equals false. So this way they cannot do multiple dashes. And right here I'm actually going to say start coroutine dash wait. A numerator dash wait yield return new wait 4 seconds 0.2 f can dash equals true. Okay, so you can still do multiple dashes, but it is a lot more manageable. The only thing that I will say is once you land, you'll be able to do another one if you time it right. So like right there, that obviously wasn't the full duration. That's just because it was timed with whenever I came in contact with the ground. The next thing we need to do is probably kind of focus on these walls a little bit because I should not be able to do that. Did I just seriously... Okay, so that needs to be fixed. So we're going to collapse the canvas. We're going to come up to World Collider. I'm actually going to zoom in on it. You know what? F. Screw you. Okay, I'm going to click on these. I'm going to bring these way down here. Now I'm actually going to come up here to copy component. No, I need a paste component as new. Yes, that one. And boom, the player cannot leave this area. They are trapped within this domain for the end of eternity. Save. Okay. So yeah, that's... Oh wait. So we tested the kill player with the chompy plants. I have not tested the piranha plants with the... Okay, so is what's going on right here is it's activating something. Let me expand out the canvas. Pause menu. So it's not paused, and can input doesn't equal true. So if it's what if we come into the pause menu? Let me take a look at this real quick. So if can input is true, which it starts off, which it was actually set to false, so it's doing that correctly, it should ignore all of this. Else time dot timescale equals 1. I'm like trying to hurry up and fix all these bugs because I gotta wake my wife up here in like 5 minutes. Joys of being married. I think I'm gonna throw cold water on her. That actually seems pretty appropriate. That's what she gets for making me go without my pizzas. Okay, so that's set to 1. And so the next thing we need to do is we need to do the. So we come in here. So we actually need to do the kill player. So we need to make sure that kill player is being called as well. And that's going to be the next thing we're doing is we have dead player, which that is being called, so that's good. So now we need to say pm dot kill player. So we need to make sure that that's being called. This way it'll call the respawn. And there is I probably should have created another method group instead of having it call kill player twice because she's already been through enough. Yep, endless loop. That's what I was afraid of. So I actually need to come into the pause menu. I'm going to start that up. And I'm actually going to create another method group. And this will just be called public void player is dead. And for this is going to be the only thing I am calling. And so inside player movement, I'm going to change this from kill player to player's dead. And so it's what was going on before. This is why I was thinking I probably should call another method group. I'm too tired to realize this. I actually created an endless loop. So what was going on was I called the kill player. Kill player says, okay, dead player. Dead player then says, okay, kill player. It just keeps going on. That was the endless loop I created. I should have seen it before I did it. I did not. Things happen. Luckily. So now this should work where she will die. And there we go. Respawn. And there we go. And so the last thing I want to do is we'll come here to add a game object, apply it to player prefab. So I'm going to save the scene. I'm going to upload these changes to Perforce, so all 3 fixes will be in there. Or actually, I'm going to do one more thing. Come into computer. I'm going to move this over here. Let's see. Nope, not week 3. Why are all my folders empty? Oh, because I'm in prototyping, that's why. I don't have anything for those. I need to be in here. I also need to come into Sprites, Show and Explorer. Move that over here. And Character Sprites. Let me go ahead and create one new. This will be called Frog. New. Chompy. New. What else do we have? A null. New. And that's a boss. That's a boss. I'm pretty sure the bearded dragon. Gecko. pretty sure that those are the enemies. Because there's a bearded dragon, the lizard king, turtle, um... bearded dragon. Oh, the chameleon was the other boss. So it's chameleon for the boss, bearded dragon as boss, turtle, and lizard king. Those are the 4 bosses. Whereas these other guys are just basic guys. So I'm actually going to move the gecko over here. Frog. Ribbit. Chompy can wait. Then we have the Anole. I'm actually going to select all of these. What's idle? Oh, that's player. Okay, so I'm actually going to select all of these. Control C. I'm going to come in here. Control V. I am then going to come in, or actually, yes, I do want to permanently delete those. Let me go into Perforce. I'm going to check out the Chompy. Prefabs, scenes, scripts, sprites. I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, character sprites, that's why. So I'm going to select all the Chompies. I don't need the player sprites, I just need these. I'm going to check these out. Okay. And then I'm going to come into Unity, character sprites. This guy will be set as 2D. Apply. That's empty. Going to set this to 2D. Apply. Set this guy to 2D. Now when you use this guy, don't worry about setting his pixels per unit, because you can see all this white space. If we bring him in here and press F, he's not very big. But a lot of that is just because of all the unused space around his borders. So don't worry about that. So lastly, I'm actually going to take all of these. I'm going to drag them into Chompy. Going to Gecko, Frog, Chompy. There we go. Okay. So then I'll come back into Perforce. Refresh. Why is that not? Oh, because I'm not on mine. That's why. So we have... Where's the sprite? Oh, that's prefabs. Come on, Jimmy. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. I'm going to select these 4. I'm going to select these 4. Add. Okay. And then I'm going to click on this. Submit. Uncheck the things. I am looking for question marks. Alright. So that's that fixed. Camera lagging behind. Changed dash frequency. Created player respawn. Added Frog, Gecko, and Anole enemy sprites. And actually I think that was it. So we hit submit. This is going to fight me tooth and nail, ain't it? Yes, it is. definitely want that one on there. So now I should be able to hit submit, and that should be just fine. Sprites, character sprites, Chompy. Oh, you bastard. Okay. Or actually, no, that's fine. So let me hit submit. There we go. I have no idea why the creative file is still there, but okay. Alright, that should be it. So, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great day.